Good day, everyone. We welcome you to our very first podcast titled Stuff You Should Know, a podcast brought to you by University of the Philippines Open University. About us, we are students under the Masters of Research and Development Management. And I am Elijah M. Sakay, together with my classmates.
Nathan Marisegi.
RG Manina Tulad.
Karen Salonga.
So, in this podcast, we will talk about and share our knowledge and experiences in our respective organization, particularly about leadership and management. By that, I have this question in mind. Based on your experience, which is more commonly practiced, leadership or management?
I'd like to answer that. Based on my experience, it depends on the type of industry. When I was working in the private sector, management is more commonly practiced. It's more of work focus than people focus. It's a business, so it's understandable that high profits and low operational costs matters more than anything else. I have been trained that achieving the target outputs and meeting the organizational objectives must come before anything else. Risky new ideas are not really welcomed since it may have come with a high expense. My coworkers and I usually go to work not so excited and just go for the sake of getting our paycheck. However, when I started working for the Department of Agriculture, to which I am currently still part of, I have been lucky to have met a lot of managers who are also good leaders. Maybe because we're working not for profit, but for the farmers. So even if we have goals and annual targets to meet, that's okay because we put people first. And every day, we strive work together for the better.
I'm glad to hear that, Maiden. I love the part of your statement when you say you've already encountered managers who are also good leaders, because managers who are also good leaders possess a unique combination of skills that allow them to guide their teams and achieve organization goals effectively. That's why you're also happier now, unlike before, because managers with leadership qualities can create environment where anyone feels valued and motivated to contribute their best.
It's also refreshing to hear about your experience transitioning from the private sector to the Department of Agriculture. Your perspective highlights a very crucial difference in organizational culture and values, and also highlights that having great leaders and managers will inspire people like you and like the most of us.
Yes, what an amazing response to you guys. By what Maiden says, there's really a visible outline that we can differentiate leadership and management, and vice versa. That's why I came up with this question. Do you think leaders and managers are two different kinds of people, or do you think both skill sets are commonly found in the same individual? Why or why not?
Hi, Elijah. I personally think that these qualities are not mutually exclusive, and someone can possess both qualities, which means that someone can exhibit both leadership and management qualities. Both skills are complementary and plays an essential role in guiding a team or organization. As we have learned, leadership involves setting a vision, inspiring and motivating others, and also providing direction. On the other hand, management focuses on planning, organizing, and ensuring that the tasks are executed efficiently. You know what? In my years of experience, I've met amazing leaders and managers who I consider role models. And I'll share one memorable leader who we call BT. For me, he really stood out and embodied being a motivational force. He would always encourage and bring out the best in us and channels our inner leaders and never fails to also define our purpose at work. And at the same time, he is also highly skilled in execution of our tasks and implementation of policies and also ensures compliance.
That's interesting, Nina. I also agree that someone can exhibit both leadership and management qualities. And we are lucky if we encounter a manager who is also a good leader, because if these skills were combined, it possesses a well-rounded skill set that can contribute to the success of an organization. Ultimately, it is also common that leaders and managers are two different people. I think that's okay. What's important is that organization have individuals who can effectively fulfill both leadership and management responsibility through collaboration or by possessing a combination of the necessary skills.
I agree. A manager and a leader can be one person, but they're not that common. Having a manager who is also a good leader is a plus. If we have someone or become someone who is able to achieve those KPIs and at the same time appreciate work, time, and makes the team work well, not because they need to, but because they want to, what else can we ask for, right? That's such a good working setup, and I believe that everyone should experience that.
Yes, I totally agree with that. That leadership and management came hand to hand. But also we can agree that there are individuals only possess one of them. And that's bring up to my last question. Which of the two is more needed by organizations? And under what conditions are these two competencies more applicable?
Thank you for that, Elijah, for that
Hmm.
interesting question. Based on my experience, both managers and leaders play crucial role in the organization. Leader play essential role for guiding the organization vision, creating strategic direction, inspiring, motivating employees, empowering employees to achieve their goals. But we need managers on the other hand because they have the attitude of ensuring that the tasks are completely efficient. Therefore, I think both managers and leaders are important. We need these two characteristics because in reality, the ideal is to be a leader who possess a management skills and managers who exhibit leadership qualities. And for the second question, under what condition are these two competencies? Leadership and managers are relevant in various conditions, but based on my experience in the industry which I belong now, which is construction, crisis conflict resolution are always happening. And during these times, leadership and managers are crucial for resolving issues. Leaders can provide calmness, guide organization, while managers play a role in the managing resources and facilitating conflict resolution among our team members.
I completely agree with your statement on the last question, Karen. Under what conditions are competencies applicable? I would say the same. It varies depending on the situation. And when you said crisis, I remember the pandemic 3 years ago where we needed the leader the most who will lead us, who would help us understand the situation and would also steer us in the right direction. And I think in this unprecedented situation, we needed a leader first who and then a manager who will help execute the objectives and the plans of the leaders.
I agree with both of you. Aside from crisis and conflict management, we can also see the leader and manager style competencies when we talk about risk and leader and taking new and big challenges. We need a leader's vision to seek change to boost development and empower our workforce, but we also need the manager's style, strategic style to be specific, and his detailed plan in order to ensure that we'll succeed.
Yes, we can really say that organizations needed both competencies, right?
Yes.
Yes, that the success of these organizations rely on them. What an amazing podcast we have today, right, girls? I hope our listeners get much of what we talk about today regarding leadership and management. And that's it. That's the first podcast for stuff you should know. See you again for our next episode, and bye.
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 Bye, everyone.
Stuff you should know.